You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
Today, we're going to switch gears now and talk about one of my favorite teams, and that is the Golden State Warriors. So the Warriors had a big game last night against the Memphis Grizzlies. It was the first of a play-in round game. Oh no! I know. I hit the space button by accident and it just cut it right off. What are you gonna do? But anyway, the Warriors played a big game against the Memphis Grizzlies. This was a game to secure the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and the Warriors won by a final score of 121-116, securing the 7th seed in the West. And they will move on to take on the Houston Rockets, the number 2 seed, this Sunday. Now, we'll talk about that matchup in just a minute, but let's talk about what happened last night. Now, the Warriors had a big game against the Clippers 2 nights ago in which they could have secured the 6th seed. And they lost that game to the Clippers and went to overtime, and the Warriors were not able to lock down the Clippers. That was a very upsetting loss because the Warriors had a chance to really close out that game, and they kept turning the ball over and were inconsistent on offense. And then they had to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies, for that matter, they've lost quite a few games, and they're not playing very well. At one point, this was the number 2 team in the West. Now they're basically fighting for a playoff spot. And going against the Golden State Warriors, a team that actually the Warriors won the season series against them. But there's a bit of desperation when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies because we knew that they were going to give it all they had in order to win this game. Now, like I said, the Warriors did win this game 121-116. Let's take a look at the numbers. The Warriors, Jimmy Butler, it was a straight baller last night, 38 points. He was 12 of 18 from the line. He got to the line he shot 18 free throws. That's insane. And he missed 5. Can you imagine he made all of them? My goodness. He was 2 for 4 from threes. He had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, really controlled the offense. And I liked that the Warriors, towards the end of the game, started running the offense through Jimmy Butler. I was telling my brother, like, hey, they got to start running the offense through Jimmy Butler. He slows things down. He's more decisive. He's a good passer. He draws contact. He does a lot of things that the Warriors need him to do in order to make their offense go. At one point, they were running the offense through Steph Curry, but it was one screen, one pick after another, and they were double teaming him left and right. Once they started running the ball through Jimmy Butler, it started to open up more things for the offense. But like I said, playoff Jimmy was there, 38 points. He definitely led the offense. But let's not take credit away from Stephen Curry. He's playing with an injured thumb, definitely affecting his shot and his play as well. But he ended the night with 37 points. But he was 9 of 22 from the field and 6 of 13 from threes. But he was 13 of 13 from the line, and that was huge. Because at the end of the game, he hit 4 big free throws to really put the game out of reach and secure the win for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green had 4 points, but he did have 10 assists and 6 rebounds. So like always, he fills up the stat sheet, doing a lot of other things. Quentin Post had 11 points. Gary Payton had 12 points. So, really, we're looking at 8 players. Oh, no, because they also played Looney and Santos. The one guy that didn't play, is something I want to talk about, was, again, no Jonathan Kuminga, a DNP. Coach's decision. Something happened. Something's going on in which Steve Kerr does not want to play Jonathan Kuminga. And I don't know what it is. Kuminga is a dynamic defensive and offensive player. He's still really raw. And I think he's not as refined as Steve Kerr wants him to be. And I think Steve Kerr is kind of holding that against him. and saying, hey, if you're not going to do the things that we want you to do, you're not going to be at the places we want you to be at, then I'm just not going to play you. And I think that's the wrong call. I really do. It's one thing that he didn't play against the Clippers. That was weird. But to not play him again against the Memphis Grizzlies in a pivotal play-in tournament game, I can't understand that. I don't understand that. The guy is dynamic. He could do a lot of things for you. You have to find a way to get him in the game. And he didn't. He didn't play a single minute. So you're telling me that you're going to be able to beat the Houston Rockets without having Jonathan Kuminga on the court? I don't see it. I don't. I don't think that they can do it without Jonathan Kuminga. They got to have him. Last time he played against the Rockets, he scored, I want to say it was like 28 points against the Rockets. But now we're not going to play him because you don't think that he's fitting in with your scheme. You don't think that he's fitting in with the offensive sets, with the rotations. You got to find a way. This guy's too good to sit on the bench. If this is how he's going to be used, then I'm sorry. He's not going to come back next season. I know he's a restricted free agent. You could play him on his 5th year. God forbid something happens to him, he gets hurt. But to me, this is a sign and trade candidate. And if you want value for Jonathan Kuminga, you need to start playing him, especially in the playoffs. So that's what I think about when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. They got to get him in the game, and he's got to be a part of this offense, especially going against a bigger team in the Houston Rockets. I just can't believe that you just wouldn't play Jonathan Kuminga. Something happened. I don't know what, but I feel like something happened in terms of maybe they had a conversation about his role and the conversation went bad. I don't know. Typically, I would hold somebody out if I got into a disagreement with this guy and said, okay, you know what? Fuck you. You're going to be on the bench. I'm not playing you anymore. You don't talk to me that way. Now, granted, I'm, speculating. But it just seems really weird that they would not play him at all, that Kerr would not play him at all. So now you're going against the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are the number 2 seed in the West, and they have a fairly deep team as well. And they are one of the top defensive teams in the league. And we saw how last time we played them a few weeks ago, they gave the Warriors an extremely hard time, and they really held down Stephen Curry, putting small forward Amen Thompson on him. And Thompson is extremely difficult for Steph Curry to play. Thompson is 6'7". He's a 22-year-old that's 6'7" with a huge wingspan. So they put the bigger guard on Steph Curry, which gives him problems trying to get his shot off. And so that's going to be a hard thing for the Warriors to overcome, is getting past the defense of the Houston Rockets. Yeah, you got Fred VanVleet. You got Jalen Green, who's a baller. Dylan Brooks, I hate the guy. He's there as well. Sengun, Steven Adams. So they got 2 big men, and Steven Adams, one that Adams has a lot of experience against the Warriors, and then Sengun is one of their best players on their team. Sengun is averaging 19 points a game and 10 rebounds. He's 6'11". I think Draymond Green is going to be the guy that is going to have to D him up. And then, of course, you got Steven Adams as his backup. So Sengun will be an issue for the Golden State Warriors. But they have to find ways around this defense of the Houston Rockets. And I think that running your offense through Jimmy Butler will help. But they got to get contributions from the bench in terms of scoring. They have to. Guys like, I love Moses Moody. He's missing, 3 out of 4 3-pointers. Same with Pajemski. They're both playing a little tentative. So that's been tough. But you got to find more scoring off the bench. And so that's why the argument is, how can you not play Jonathan Kuminga? It doesn't make any sense. I can't see how you can justify saying, you know what? Just leave him on the bench. Let's go with, Guy Santos, who I love. Kevon Looney, who I love because he's been the Warriors forever. But it's crazy not to play Jonathan Kuminga. I don't understand that. I don't see an outcome where if you don't play Kuminga, you don't beat the Rockets. I think Kuminga has to be a part of this rotation. But my feeling is that Steve Kerr is not going to play him. And that we're going to end up seeing Kuminga in like a game 3 when we're down 0-2. Then it's like, fuck, okay, now I got to play him because we're down. Which I hope is not the case. I hope it is not the case. But, like I said, the Warriors took care of business last night. They took down the Memphis Grizzlies 121-116. Butler, 38 points. Stephen Curry, 37 points. Desmond Bane for the Grizzlies was killing us all game long with 30 points. Zach Edey was a menace at rebounding, getting 17 rebounds for the Grizzlies. And John Morant had 22 points. He got injured in the third quarter. Really affected the rest of the game, which the Warriors were like, yeah. And the Warriors move on to the Houston Rockets, which will be on 4/20. What? Game 1 against Houston Rockets in Houston. So that's a big turnaround for the Golden State Warriors. They'll get 4 days of rest before they take on the Houston Rockets. So they need to rest up and get healthy, as they're going to have their hands full with the Houston Rockets. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.